@gmail.com. So this is the email. And you see they have accepted our email. They give you this green tick. Then I will enter the password. Due to privacy, I will just type. So that is the password. Then here you choose a username. So we shall come and say, since this is NextSoluTech, I'll just come and say maybe I'll come and say NextSoluTech like that. I choose that name. So you can see here they have verified the username, the password is correct, and the email is correct. And the country or region, in this case it is Uganda, I don't need to choose any other options. Then email, it is email preferences, receive occasional product updates and announcements. This is important. If you're working in teams, you accept that. Okay, so I will create the account here. It will say verifying. Of course, I'll save this as it verifies. So it is saying verification complete. So they have sent a verification code via the email. So then it's here. I'll have to copy this code. Just copy it. Then I'll come back to please verify here, and I'll have to paste my code there. Then automatically it will have to continue. After everything, it will have to tell you your account was created successfully. Please sign in to continue. You just come and click on sign in, and it will open GitHub automatically. So this is how it will look like, because it doesn't have any repository. So it will have to load other people's data, other people who are using the same site to track their projects. For now, we have two options here. We have create repository and we have import repository. For the create repository, it means you don't have any repository. You're creating your first repository. And we say the repository, it is like some space where you store your code. And time will come, you'll not be sharing the codes the way we've been sharing them, like in the group. We just share a link to the repository. So that is creating a repository. Then this is importing. If you already have a repository on maybe on the same GitHub, which is on desktop, you use import. We shall see very many options on what they do when we create a repository. Then when you come here, they have given you that start playlist, GitHub for beginners on YouTube. They will teach you how to use GitHub. Then down here we have what we call like getting started. We have create a project on GitHub. It's your own space to experiment, learn, and share code with the world. Then there you create a project, but we shall not create a project since we already have our projects on our machines. Then there is start a copilot chat. Copilot is some AI. It is built, it is inside here, it is inside GitHub and also VS Code. It helps you in your coding. Then there is complete your profile. Of course, we don't need to complete the profile right now. Then there is the docs, the documents that help you use GitHub. Then there is GitHub documentation about GitHub and Git, how to create your first repository, creating a pull request. Pull request as the word pull, pulling code from the machine to the repository. Then there is what is GitHub Copilot, as I've told you, AI that helps in coding. It can code in your code editor, in your IDE. It can even advise you on good coding practices. Then there is GitHub Flow. These are like the syntaxes are here. So If we want to create, we shall just come here and say create repository. And when you're creating a repository, you're supposed to enter the repository name here. Now, in this case, let me say I will call this repository, maybe, can I call it Academy? Yeah, that would be right, Academy. Then description, you can put description, maybe what is it going to store? Let me say it will be storing maybe academic code. Then here, when you say configuration, choose visibility. Choose who can see and commit to this repository. When I leave it public here, it means even when I host it, people will be able to see what I hosted. But if I change it and I make it private, it means I'm the only one who has access to my repository. But again, for the collaboration, you have to leave it as public. That's why by default it is public. Then there's what we call a readme, where they say add a readme. Readme can be used for longer descriptions. Here, when you want to write just text, not code, you want to write some text about something, some events, you just use a readme. So we shall come here and say we turn this on because we are adding a readme. Then there is add git ignore, tells git which files not to track. That is not important, we just leave it. Then there's what we call a license. Add a license, explain how others can use your code. So these licenses, they are very many. You just choose any because they all have almost the same rules. There are many licenses. Now for me in this case, I will use the MIT license and put it there. By filling in all these fields, we are just ready to create a repository. Let me hope we are together. After filling in the fields, we create a repository. We just come and say create repository. So a repository itself cannot just store the code itself. It has what we call branches. A repository is like, let me say, a house. Then we have rooms where we store different things in a house. So the same applies to the what? To a repository. A repository, remember our repository, in this case it is Academy, but the user is NextSoluTech. NextSoluTech owns the repository called Academy. Then our repository Academy, it is public. That is the permission we gave it, it was public. Then by default, when you create a repository, it comes with one branch. For example, when you build a house that is not divided, it comes with one room that is, maybe it is like a hall. So that one room is the one branch here. And this branch, in this case, it is main. This is the main branch. When you sit down here, we don't have any other branches. So you can create very many branches, but in this case, we want to use only the main branch. And if you look at here, NextSoluTech initial commit, we put our license and it is here. If you want to read the license, you just come here and click on it. It will open up for you to read the rules that the people using your repository will follow. This is it here. Permission is hereby granted free of charge to any persons obtaining a copy of this software and associated documentation files. The software to deal in the software without restrictions, including without limitations. Then after we can move back, we navigate back because it is a long one. Then in the readme, we don't have anything. Why? It is here. We don't have anything simply because we've not yet added anything. If you want to add something, you come here where we have the edit this file. You click on edit, then you're able to type whatever you want to type here, because you can say academy code. Then you can type everything here. Then we come back to our repository. Now, how do we get our code? Let me first try to make a phone screen. Yeah. So how do we get our code? There are two main ways of getting our code into our repository. Do you see this icon, add file here? You can create new file, When you create a new file, you just copy the code and paste here. When you click on upload files, you just upload. Let me first leave that. Then assuming this is for the phone, you just come here on the three dots, click here. It will give you create new file or upload, because someone may be using a phone. You just click on the three dots, then you choose create new file or upload file. In this case, since we already have our code, we can upload that code in two ways. The first way, you can come to add file, then you say create new file. Let me wait for it to load a new file. So when you're creating a new file, you come first of all up here. Since we said our file is index dot, let me use this keyboard. We made HTML files, index.html. We say that is our file, and it is in which branch? The main branch. Then we want our code here. You highlight the whole of this code, you copy it. After copying it, you come back to our space here, then you paste the code here, Ctrl V. So this is our code, it is pasted here. Then after creating the repository, you'll have something like this. Let me leave this. It will be like this.
Yes.
Then there is this add file here. You click on add file, then we are first exploring create new file. Then you click on create new file. Then on create new file, we have majorly two fields. The first field is name your file, then the second one is enter the file contents here. On name your file, we shall come and say index, index.html, shall come and say index.html here, html, like this. Then remember from VS Code here, let me hope you've named the file. Then from VS Code here, you come and highlight this, copy the whole code. After copying the code, you bring it inside here, enter the file contents and paste it there. Eve, are we together?
Yes, we are. The difference is I had not coded that in the index. I had coded it in the akka.
So what you have to do, when you come to GitHub this side, don't name the file like akka, you name it index, and I'll give you the reason later. On the file name there, name it index.html. Are we there?
Yes, please.
Then after that, we have this button here. In the right top corner, it is commit changes. The word commit changes is like save changes, but the only difference with save and commit, save you can just click on save and the code is saved. But here, when you click on commit, you have to show what you're saving and what you've done. So when you click on commit changes, it will load this window here. So the commit message is create index.html. It is what we've created. Then you come here and say, you describe what you've created. So the person who is working with you will just come and look for this commit. Academy, maybe static work maybe. Then after, here we have two options: commit directly in the main branch, then create a new branch for this commit and start a pull request. For now, we are going to use the main branch because we saw that it is the only branch we have. So we shall just come and say commit changes. Then when we finish committing changes, initially we had two items here, the license and the readme, but we see we now have the index.html. But if you click on it, it will display the code we've pasted, but our aim is not having the code. Our aim is having the website running. So we've created our repository. So we've created an account on GitHub. We've created our repository. We've uploaded our code and committed our code. I don't want to explain everything up here because now we have not yet concentrated on issues, pull requests, actions, projects, wiki, security, insights, and maybe we are going to handle something on settings. Then we have our index.html here, and our commit, the title of the commit was create index.html, and its description was academy static work. That was for mine. Then when you come and see here, we have a code inside here, the index.html, but we don't want a code. We want a running web page, and we want a link that you can share. Meaning after when we issue the project and we've finished our project, we shall have to upload the code like the way we've uploaded the index here. You can even just use add file. You say upload files, it will open, of course, and it will tell you drag files here or choose your files. When you choose your files, it opens your file explorer of the machine like this. But now we've already uploaded our file by just creating it there. So after uploading
Yeah,
our work
are
here
we commit? Excuse me, teacher. Are we committing directly to the main branch or to the new branch?
to the main branch,
Sorry. Okay.
then after committing, you should have an interface like this, which has the third item here as index.html. Let me give you the reason as to why I said index.html. So when you host a website, be it a single page website, be it multiple page website, the browser or the server first looks for the first page. The first page of a website is always supposed to be index.html. Depending on the language, if it is another language, it should be index dot that language, but it should be index. It is the index page of a website. So when the browser is running a website that is already hosted, it looks at the index page. Let me hope you have this. So if I'm waiting for you because now we are moving to another step.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. Then after doing this, we have our code inside here in the index. This is our code. But now we want to have the interface, not the code, because now you can't show someone your code that this is my website. This is a code, it is not a website. So back here to the code. When you click on code, it loads the dashboard. So what we do, we come to settings here. First of all, when you're hosting something on GitHub, we host it on a server that we call GitHub Pages. So when you come to settings here, remember we are still in the Academy repository. When you come to settings, you come this side and look for what we call pages. We have branches, tags, rules, actions, models, webhooks, copilot, environments, code spaces. Then we look for pages, which is this one here. Then we click on pages. So when you click on pages, it shows like it has not changed anything. But if you notice here, we have GitHub pages. Initially, we had general settings. So we have GitHub pages. We scroll down. When you look at build and dep build and deployment source, we have deploy from a branch, and I think this is we also have GitHub actions, but now we have a branch which is main, meaning we just leave it at deploy from branch. Then we have branch. GitHub pages is currently disabled. Select a source below and enable GitHub pages for this repository. And our repository is Academy. So we shall come here, down here, and say the source here they've put none. We change it and say we are getting the code from our branch, which is main. Then inside the settings, we have general settings, we have collaborators. Collaborators, these are people. For example, you're working on a big website and you have people you're working with, maybe other 6 people. So these people will be collaborators. They are collaborating with you towards achieving this project. Then we have modernization options there. In the chat, you create some chat interface where you people can be communicating. Then we have branches, as we've said. In the house, we have rooms. Then we have tags, rules, actions, models, webhooks, copilot, environments, code spaces. Then we have pages. Then you come and click on pages. So when you click on pages, it will change here. We shall have GitHub pages. GitHub pages is designed to host your personal organization or project pages from a GitHub repository. And our repository in this case is Academy. And this Academy belongs to NextSoluTech. Let me hope here you used your name, not NextSoluTech. Then there is build and deployment. Then the source. Then the source, in this case, we are deploying from a branch because we have the main branch. Then the branch, they are saying GitHub pages is currently disabled. Select a source below to enable GitHub pages for this repository. Learn more about configuring and publishing source from your site. Then they have told us it is disabled. We turn it on and choose our branch as main. After clicking on save, it will come here and say GitHub pages source saved. If are we there? Then after saving, we saved and we got a message GitHub pages source saved. Then we come and close this message here. After closing the message, you come and refresh the page. Wait for some time. You'll find this link here. After just refreshing, you may refresh immediately and you don't see it, but after some time you wait like for 1 or 2 minutes, then you refresh. When you refresh, you'll find this link here. It will be like http nextsolutech.github.input-output.academy, sorry, stroke academy. So this is the link to the what, to our work, the to our website. So if I click on it, it will open this. This is in a browser. So even if I just send it right now to the group, people will click on it and it will show this. Let me just get the link here. So it is not okay. What link did I copy? Let me just highlight this and copy it. Just go to the group and paste it there. come here and paste. Can you see? I put it there. So when you click on it, the only challenge we have, we've hosted poor quality work. It is not to the best. But if I click on this link, it will open the browser and show this, meaning our small website, our small code is already live on the browser. You can access it anywhere in the world. It is already online, but this is free hosting and it is limited. It can't work for each and everything. It can't work for all projects. It is limited. But if you build a basic web page, even it can be a website of more than 10 pages, you can host it here on GitHub, because we've been hosting very many of them here. Let's move backwards. I think I've closed the page. Yeah, this is the link and it is active. It is already live. So we've finished hosting and they're telling us here your site is live at, that is the link, and it was last deployed by NextSoluTech. Of course, this username here, it is NextSoluTech. That's why they are saying by NextSoluTech 5 minutes ago. Then you can, if you don't want this site, you can just come and say unpublish site. You can visit, you can unpublish. When you unpublish, the link becomes invalid. Anyone who uses the link, it doesn't work. So that is hosting. It is free. So if I want to upload any other piece of work, I just come back here to code, then I say add file, and I say upload files. This time let me use upload. Then I say choose your file, then I open. So it is uploading. One uploaded, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've finished uploading the files. Now what I need to do is to only commit. Since they have already given the title, add files via upload exception, I don't have that. I just commit changes. So they are processing my files. I'll just come back to settings. Here in settings, I come to pages again. Of course, still my branch is main because this is a new repository and I've not created any branch. It has the default branch as main. Then I'll have to save. Now I don't think we're supposed to have the same error. Then I take off this success message. Mm, just keep refreshing. Wait until when I receive the link. Not yet. Just keep refreshing. I think refresh once more. Yeah, this is the link. They have told us nextsolutech.github la la la. So when I click on it, it opens this full stack developers school. Ah, login. It says NextSoluTech says data validation in progress. When you click OK, this site can't be reached. Localhost refused to connect. So this is the page. Put any password. So this page is not directly connected to the first page. So if I want to change it, maybe can just come and move back, because now I want to see the other one. If I want to see the other page, I'll come here and say, where is the link? It is here. Remember, let me first go back and show you what I want to do. When you come back to code here, and you look at our files here, We have the index file and we have the home page. But now my interest is seeing the home page. I just copy the word home page. I come back to pages, settings, pages, and then I go to the link. I want to access now the home page because now by default it is loading the index page. Just paste this here, then I do that. You see that this is the page I want to see. So this page was made, was it last year? Yeah. So it was more of a school portal, but it had those moving images. So this page is linked to the other one, the one we are seeing, but the other one is not linked to this one, because if I click on sign in here, it opens this. But again, this can't open the other one because the login logic was not completed. But it can navigate back. So we have the home, we have the about, we have the e-learning, we have the assignment, we have the library, we have the articles, gallery, contact, but they are not active. Then we have this vertical navigation here. What I was showing you was the hover. When I hover like this, see they are turning white. That is the hovering we had last time. Then it is also here, up here. These are all links. This is even showing directly that it is a link because it even still has the underline. So this was one of them. Then let me just put this link in the group also. Just put this link here also, like that. So you see here we have document. Why do we have document? We didn't edit the title. We left the title as document. So this website will waste power because it will run the images until further notice, until when you don't have power on your machine. So you can host as many as you want as long as you just change the repository. Just create another repository, upload files of a given project, host it. That's how we're also going to do for the portfolios. Though ours, they are hosted on a paid domain, but this also works. Because now, when you look at this, it is, they're telling us, let me try to check here. For it, it is direct on GitHub. Input is free, you can't decide the domain you want. That's why they are giving us a GitHub input output, because you're hosting freely on GitHub pages. So that's what I had for